if we can just become aware of our breathing, become aware of the touch of clothing on our body, the air that touches our face, the hair on our head. And as I've mentioned before, whenever we do an inner exercise, whenever we do this kind of thing, it's always good to recognize that we work along 3 different lines. That we're doing this for ourselves, we're doing it for our fellow human beings, and we're doing it for the planet. So just internally recognize that what we're doing here has a greater purpose involved. And so, as I talked a little bit about earlier, try to become aware that you are aware. Try to become aware of the observer. Try to be the observer, observing your body. Try to be the witness, witnessing your body breathing. Try to really begin to sense your body, to be aware that you're not your body, that you're something that can be aware of your body, that observer, that witness, that consciousness. And then focus on your breathing. Focus on the sensation of air as it flows in through your nostrils, nose, nasal cavity, back of mouth, throat, vocal cord, down into your lungs and back past all of those points. Becoming aware of the sensation of air flowing in, and perhaps even become aware of the air that's flowing past the bridge of your nose, and aware of the sensation of your body breathing. And recognize that as you consciously breathe, you are actually feeding your body higher particles, higher molecules. So aware of your body breathing, aware of this process, conscious, mindfully breathing, and become aware of the movement of the various muscles involved. The primary one, the diaphragm. As it moves down the diaphragmic cavity, it acts like bellows and pulls your lungs open. And as your diaphragm contracts back up the diaphragmic cavity, it pushes the air out of your lungs. And as it moves back down the diaphragmic cavity, it causes your abdomen to rise, and it affects your abdominal muscles. It also causes the muscles between your ribs to expand and contract. But it is the true engine of breath and breathing. So take some nice deep breaths. Breathe in deep breaths down into the deep bottom parts of the lungs. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we exhale approximately 70% of our waste products through our out-breath. So become aware of feeding the body as we breathe in and detoxifying the body as we breathe out, feeding and cleansing our body. And then we're going to do the filling exercise. So as a vessel can fill with warm golden honey, I would like you to imagine your body filling with sensation. But we're going to start with the toes. So imagine your toes filling with sensation, and then filling with sensation throughout your feet, from your toes to your heels, and then filling with sensation from the bottom of your feet to your ankles, and then filling with sensation from the bottom of your feet up through your legs, up to your knees, from the bottom of your feet up through your lower legs, knees, upper legs, up to your hips, filling with sensation from the bottom of your feet up to your hips and hands, from the bottom of your feet up to your lower torso, your lower arms, from the bottom of your feet up to your elbows and midriff and middle torso, filling with sensation from the bottom of your feet now all the way up your shoulders and arms, filling with sensation from the bottom of your feet up through your neck, and then finally filling with sensation from the bottom of your feet all the way to the top of your head, developing this sensation of self, developing this awareness of your physical body as one organic whole. Become aware of your whole body, and then try to be the observer, observing your body. Try to be the witness, witnessing your body. And then let's just become aware of our skin. Do your best to just become aware of the outer layer of your skin. Perhaps where the hair touches your skin on your head, or the air touches the skin on your face, or where the clothing touches the skin on your body, or the air on your hands. Really try to become aware of the outer layer of skin. Become aware of your skin. And then there are actually 7 layers of skin. So try to become aware of the inner layer of your skin. Become aware of the inside of your skin. And then become aware of the flesh beneath your skin. Become aware of the muscle, the fascia, the ligaments, the soft tissue beneath your skin. And then allow your awareness to seep a little deeper. Allow your awareness to seep into your bones and become aware of your bones. And let's become aware of the bones in your right upper arm, and become aware of the bones in your right elbow, and become aware of the bones in your right lower arm, and then become aware of the bones in your hands and fingers, and then become aware of the bone in your right upper leg, and become aware of the bone in your right knee, the bones in your right lower leg, the bones in your right foot, and then become aware of the bones in your left foot, your left lower leg, your left knee, the bones in your left upper leg, the bones in your hands, the bones in your left lower arm, your left elbow, your left upper arm. And then become aware of the bones in your pelvis, your hips. Then become aware of your sacrum or tailbone. And become aware of the bones that flow up your spine, from the bottom of your spine all the way up to where your spine connects to the skull. And then become aware of your shoulder blades, those flat bones. And then become aware of your rib cage and how your rib cage converges into your breastbone. And become aware of your collarbone. And then become aware of your jawbone. And then the bones in your face and nose. And then the bone in your forehead. And then the top of your head, the parietal bone. And then the 2 bones, your temple bone, just sort of the front and up from the ear. And then become aware of the occipital bone in the back, that bump in the back of your head. And now let's become aware of the marrow in the bones. And let's start with the marrow in the hips and pelvis. This is red marrow. Try to become aware of the red marrow in your hips and pelvis, the red marrow in your tailbone and sacrum, base of your spine, the red marrow in the bones that make up your spine, the red marrow in your shoulder blades, the red marrow in your rib cage, breastbone, collarbone, the red marrow in the bones in your jaw, your face, your forehead, the top of your head, the sides of your head, the back of your head. And try to become aware of the red marrow in all of those places, from your hips and sacrum and tailbone up your spine, your ribs, breastbone, collarbone, up into all of the various bones in your head and skull. And then let's become aware of the yellow marrow that is in our limbs. And let's start with the yellow marrow in our right upper arm. And then the yellow marrow in our right lower arm. And then move down to the yellow marrow in our thigh bone, our right thigh bone. Then the yellow marrow in the two bones in the lower right leg. And then the two bones in our left lower leg, the yellow marrow. And then in our left thigh bone. And then the yellow marrow in the bones in our left lower arm. And then up to the yellow marrow in the bones in our left upper arm. And then slowly allow our awareness just to move into our whole skeleton. Become aware of the bones in our body. From the bottom of our feet, the bones in our feet, up our legs, knees, hips, pelvis, up our spine, to our shoulder blades, ribs, rib cage, breastbone, collarbone, the bones in our upper arms, our elbows, our lower arms, hands and fingers, the bones in our head, the jaw, the face bone, the various bones in the skull. And then move out into the flesh, into the muscles, into the blood vessels in our body. Become aware of the flesh in our body, starting with the flesh in our feet, our lower legs, the flesh in our upper legs, the flesh in our pelvis and hips, the flesh in our lower torso, mid-torso, upper torso, our upper arms, down to our lower arms, the flesh in our hands and fingers. Become aware of the flesh in our head, our lips, the flesh in our tongue, in our mouth, perhaps even our brain, and then become aware of the skin of our feet, our lower legs, the skin surrounding our upper legs, our hips, our pelvis, the skin in our lower torso, our mid-torso, our chest and upper back, our upper arms, the skin in our lower arms, our hands and fingers, and become aware of the skin in our throat and neck and the skin in our head. And then try to become aware of our flesh, our skin, flesh, bones, and marrow. Try to become aware of all of this. Try to become aware of the sensation of self. And again, as with all inner exercises, we should finish by silently repeating in your mind, may results from this exercise be transformed within me for my being